Now that the mainsail is derigged, we can move up to the bow of the boat and take down the jib sail. The first step to taking down the jib sail is removing the stopper knots from the jib sheets and feeding them back through the jib chocks. After that, we can go to the very front of the bow, keeping the sail in between our legs, removing the jib halyard from the head of the sail, and returning it back to the starboard side of the pulpit. Once the jib halyard is made back onto the pulpit, we can secure the line and close the clutch. Now we'll remove the hanks from top to bottom, making sure that the head of the sail doesn't fall into the water. Once all the hanks are off, we can bunch up the jib sail and bring it back to the middle of the boat. Once the jib sail is back in the cockpit, we'll start at the head of the sail and feed our way down until we find the second seam, which is where we'll fold over the sail and begin to roll. There's the first seam and the second seam. We'll start our fold here and roll the sail, making sure that there's no crinkles or wrinkles in the seam. As we're rolling, we're making sure that it's uniform and nice and tight. Once the sail is completely rolled, we'll take the jib sheets together, coil them up into a nice neat coil before we return the jib sail back down into the companionway. Once the coil is complete, we can return the jib sail back to the starboard side, making sure that the jib sheets go in the back, just so that if they're wet, they're not resting on top of the jib sail. And that's completed for derigging the jib. But now we have to go to the foredeck of the sailboat and put the spinnaker halyard back on the port side of the pulpit and the topping lift back to the middle of the bow. You want to make sure that you open both of your clutches to release the lines. Looking up, the spinnaker halyard goes all the way to the top of the mast and is returned back to the port side of the pulpit. The topping lift goes halfway up the mast and returns back to the middle of the bow. After both lines are made, they can be pulled tight and the clutches can be closed. And that's the entire jib derigged.